made it through my spring bling haul there. I don't know if you had to get out your sunglasses. Jay just wanted to make sure she was ready for spring bling. And I quite the sales, didn't I? So I just kept my sunglasses nearby just in case. Well, now we moved on though. Spring is not here yet. So as we transition, I thought, what would make a good, what would be something really fun to knit? Because I just finished the crochet one, Find Your Rose. I hope you're enjoying that, all my crocheters. So I thought, well, I'm going to go back and let's take another pattern out of our new book, 750 Knitting Stitches, the Ultimate Knit Stitch Bible. So far, I'm really enjoying this book. The stitches are very, like I said, they're very well written. It's nice and clear, and so far I'm just having a lot of fun. So as you can see, I have my book, and I have my little stitch markers from my friend IJ. They're so pretty, I didn't want to put them up, so I left them out here for decoration. So you can see the pretty little stitch markers with all kind of cute little keys with love on it. That was so cute and so nice. So, but now, this tutorial, I want to kind of combine. I found a pattern, and I thought it really represented this time of the year. We're in March, and I think by the end of this month, spring will come in. So I thought, why don't I do winter cables along with some spring lace. And so I set about to look in my book to find something, and of course one of the first patterns I found is one that a lot of people are familiar with. It's a well-known pattern. It's nice and easy. It's good that an advanced can do it. I'm going to throw in a few things to keep you advanced knitters knitting, but then it's also great for our new friends who just want to build a little more confidence in cabling and adding the lace too. And on page in my book, it's on page 127. Yep, 127, and it is called Lace and Cables. Lace and Cables. And of course, I'm calling mine winter cables because I think of cables more for, it's heavier. Cabling takes more yarn, and it's just heavier, just thicker. And then the lace will represent spring. So winter cables and spring lace. What do you think of that? Okay, this pattern is very nice, very simple. I've compared it with some others, and like I said, I'm glad I went ahead and decided on this one. It's a multiple of 11 stitches. However many repeats you want, it's times 11, and at the end of the count, you add 7. So there's only 8 rows to the pattern, and there is all the wrong sides are just purl, which I like to have that when you're doing a cable, just to kind of help the new people rest a little bit and make sure they can keep up where they are. And it's not a really hard cable. It's a really fun knit, and I think you're going to like it. So this tutorial, like I say, it's to go along with Wendy's beautiful calendar for March. Her calendar, Favorite Things by Wendy Bentley. And it has this, you saw the beautiful pictures. And I just wanted to bring out the colors and try to use the calendar as my inspiration. So let's go over and you tell me what you think of Jay's winter cables and spring lace sweater. Now, before we get started, I always like you to know the starting point and the direction that I'm going in. I just, I look sometimes and I just like for you to know the starting point and which direction I'm going, and it seems like it makes it easier, and since I don't have written patterns, to kind of set your mind, set our minds, and then we can flow along with it. Okay, as you can see, this is the back of the sweater. And I've gone over the yarn, and well, I will go over the yarns and all of that, and you know, and the colors, but I just want to lay it out first. This is the back, and right in the center I put this beautiful 2 panels or 2 repeats of the cable and lace pattern. And I did not normally, well, a lot of patterns would call for reverse stockinette, but this one so happens looks great in regular stockinette. That just means knit on the front, purl on the back, not the opposite, you know. So I like this one to get us started so we can knit together and knit it fast, because cabling does take, you know, it's a good knit, and you know, you need the extra yarn because cabling will eat up a lot more yarn than if you were just knitting plain, knitting straight. So you may have to have a couple of extra skeins on hand. I started out with at least 4, and I think I used all of the 4, but like I said, we're going to go over the yarn and everything. But as you can see, I'm just giving an overview of, I started at the bottom with a 1x1 ribbing. It just makes it look nice. I did not go real thick, but now depending on your taste, you can go wide ribbing or shallow. I went kind of shallow, about 1.5 inches, as you can see. And then I set in my pattern. Like I said, we're going to go over everything. This is just an overview. And then as you go up the back, as we come towards the shoulders, and in fact, let me tell you how many repeats I did. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 repeats. And I'll tell you what you'll do once you reach the number of repeats you want. But I repeated my pattern for my back lace cables here 11 times. And then, of course, the sweater will turn, and then you will have the front. And this beautiful, beautiful warm collar. Let's see, can I just pull it over here so that I can get most of it in the picture. You can see this beautiful, and this is more of a vest. It's not a foot with the sleeve. This does not have the sleeves. You could add sleeves if you want, like we've just finished the cardigan, because this is the same style sweater. It's the same premise, up the back and down the front, over the shoulders and down the front. But I did a cute ribbing to match the bottom for my arm sleeve, to finish off my arm space. It's really pretty. And like I said, I came down, but I only had room to do 1 panel, you know, 1 repeat of the pattern coming down each front. And then at the very end, we go back and pick up all the stitches to make this really pretty collar. So I wanted you to see it. I wanted you to know, you know, the starting point, so that once we start, you know, I hope you go, and I hope you like this one. It is so pretty, and it's fun. It's cabling, it's lace all at once. I got the spring bling going on. I got the spring green. I got the spring, what can I say? You know, I have to get into it. And this looks so pretty. Didn't you think, in the pictures up against Wendy's calendar? Oh, yeah. And there's another surprise after this one, but I won't go into it right now. Let's get this one done, and then I'll tell you about the other surprise later. Well, let's get started. Let's see let's go make sure I have the pattern. Let's go over the yarns and everything we need to get started on Jay's knit winter cables and spring lace sweater. Okay, so I want to get right into our supplies. And I don't know if you can hear it. You probably can on the camera. But it's a rainy night in Georgia. Raining all over. Feels like it's raining all over the world. But the rain is really coming down. And it sounds really nice. Not a thunderstorm or lightning or anything like that. Just a nice heavy rain. Anyway, so now let's get on to our supplies, because I have this is a long sweat, there's going to be a lot to cover, and I want to try to learn I'm trying to learn how to speed the process since now that most of you are on board, or at least you're looking and you're kind of getting an idea. And I know one of my friends, Beverly, she messaged me. She said, I got it now. I got it. And I'm going to get started. So I'm thinking, yes. I said, oh, I'm so happy. Because anytime you're trying to share something, you just want to be validated that, okay, I'm not a wacko. And that it does work. And so I'm just going to continue on and just keep sharing. All right, my sweater. Let's get on with our supplies. My sweater, I am using Vanna's Choice, line brand Vanna's Choice, and this color is Sea Spray Mist, and it's like a variegated green. It's green but with a little white in it. There's a little variegation going on. It's real pretty. It makes you think of something minty and fresh and spring around the corner. But it has a weight that will carry the cable. I want to put, since we're doing cables, I want the cables to pop out. So I wanted the yarn to have a good weight so that the cables will stand out against the nice open work of the lace. And this does it. So that's what I'm using. There's my color. Now, I always give you some suggestions of other colors because remember, we're reaching into our stash. I've been really good this year, haven't I? I really am working my stash, and I want you to work yours too. Uh-oh, there's a little thunder. I want you to work your stash too. I mean, what are you going to do with all that yarn if you don't start using it up? Okay. So, there's mine. So, other colors, other yarns you can use, you can just reach into your stash. I don't see any reason why you can't use Impeccable. Oh, well, this is Sincerely from some old Sincerely I had, but I also meant to get out Impeccable. I'll reach over here while I'm talking. Okay, so this is Sincerely. This is some old Purl yarn that Joann's used to carry. But I think they discontinued or stopped or something. You can see I got it on clearance. But, it's a medium weight yarn, and that's all I'm looking for. A normal medium weight, number 4. Uses number 8. They suggest number 8 needles, but we will be using number 9s. Okay, now here's the Impeccable. It's a nice weight. It has a pretty good weight, as good as Vanna. So, you could use Impeccable. This is beautiful color. It's soft fern. See? You don't have to have green, of course. It's whatever color you want. Look, I got all these greens. Okay, now here's Joann's, one of their new yarns. You remember the new yarn I did a review on, Big Twist? This is the Big Twist Premium. Remember the one I said that it has like a nice feel to it that I thought I would use. So this would make, now, you don't get as much yardage in this, so you're going to have more skeins. But if you bought a bunch, or if you like this yarn, all right, and the name of this is a medium weight, of course, and the name of this is Sangria. So, but any color of your choice, but Big Twist, and it's the premium. Okay, that's a nice size, and I believe the 9 will work just fine on this. Okay, another one, of course, is, I'm thinking, because I'm really buying a lot of this yarn up. I love this yarn from Hobby Lobby. I believe I could use a number 9 and do this same sweater in this, even though it feels a little lighter than maybe the Vanna. But in my area, we're in March and we're getting ready to go into spring. So you don't want something as, I believe this yarn will hold up the cables, but I don't want a heavy sweater, because I'm getting ready to go into spring. So I don't see any reason why you couldn't try or use, I love this yarn, their regular super soft yarn. This color is key lime. This is just colors I have. I just got a whole bunch. And last but not least, and I'm sure you're going to think of some others that I just didn't pick through. Of course, I haven't used a yarn that I haven't used, and I am going to use this yarn eventually. But since I have it, I'm putting it out here. I love this yarn by Red Heart. Oh, I love, is that what it says? With Love. Oh, no, it's With Love by Red Heart. With Love. I kept giving it a new name. And this is boysenberry. I just happen to have this, and it does call for a number 9. So I'm just giving yarns that that you may have in your stash, just to help you have some ideas of what you can. Because the whole idea is to reach in there and let's start knitting. Let's get this stash. Let's get start working the yarn. Next thing we're going to need, of course, are some needles. I'm going to be using a US number 9, and I'm using a circular number 36 inches in length. US number 9, mine are clover. I just always use clover needles. People give me needles, but this is what I normally go to. Only because I like the drag on it, the bamboo, and, but I have a ton of other needles, believe me, all kind of brands. But anyway, so I'm using a number 9, and I have a 36 inch for this project. All right, then you're going to need, since we're doing cables, I'm just showing you laying out some cable needles. You can get them in metal. You can also get them in plastic. And I started using, buying this stuff. When you're just knitting at home, you just, you don't think about all this stuff. But when I started knitting at knit shops or in knitting groups, of course you want to fit in. So I just buy all this stuff. I got so much I can't even find half of it. I got little drawers with stuff in there, but I can never remember to go get it out the drawer. Anyway, so I have a lot of this stuff, only because this is what the people at the yarn shop will use. And sometimes I'll even take a little short double pointed needle and use that to hold my stitches for my cable. But when no one else is looking, and I'm just at home by myself, not trying to fit in or, trying to be all, like, oh, yes, I have all of that. Well, look, old habits are hard to break. This is what we did back in the day. You always had baby pins. They're hard to find now, but we always had some baby pins, and they work beautiful. And I like them if you can get the color-coded ones with the coated head, because in case you're doing a complicated cable, you would have colors to represent the different cables that you're working with. So a good old-fashioned baby pin to hold my stitches in place. And if I have to leave and go somewhere, look, pop the pin, close it. I don't have anything to worry about. It's secure. So let's see. And I have my black and white pattern. We are doing the lace and cable stitch from, my 700. I showed you the book, the 750 knitting stitches. I think that's it. You will need some nice little markers as usual. And, your regular things. Something really that's going to stand out. Some real pretty markers or something bright. So, just your standard thing, and some scissors. Things like that. I'm just making a mess here, aren't I? Okay. All right. Let us get to the next part. Is simply how to figure up our formula. Since we do not have a written pattern, we need something to kind of go by to keep us on course. So we're going to write up our formula. I'll use myself as an example and make another example so that you can kind of understand how to center your pattern, and let's go from there. Okay, let me clear this up. Okay, the fun part. This is the math part, and like I say, I follow my math, so I do not, I'm not tired of explaining or going over. Every time I do one, I'm always going to go over how to get it centered. Till you get so used to it, it will become second nature. And this will help you even when you're working from a pattern, you can learn how, like, okay, maybe that particular pattern, you like it, but maybe it just wouldn't look right on you. Maybe you have to make a few changes. This is how you learn how to center. And once you get this down, all right, you will, the more you do it, the more you'll understand it. Okay, so here I go. All right, if you saw my winter bliss sweater, okay, the whole purpose of this is to transition from one project into another, not having to go back and repeat all the trying to find the measurements. I'm simply going to use my same number that I used on my winter bliss sweater. And for my US number 9, I'm using a US number 9. My number, remember, is 96. I'm more of a large to extra large, a little over extra large. Okay. And for this pattern, out of our 750 knitting stitch book, it is the lace and cable stitch. It is a multiple of 11 stitches plus 7. Okay. Now, the math part. You have your little calculator, and I hope I can get him to zoom in if if I don't have it set right. All right, but let's walk through it. The first thing you want to do, we need a formula because since we're not working from a prepared pattern or written pattern, you got to have some place to start. And the place to start are your own numbers that you've already kind of either counted out or you've made a swatch and counted it and figured it. It doesn't matter how you get to that number, just get to that number. And it's like I said, we're going to be using the number over and over. This is what's so great about it. You don't have to stop and do all that other stuff now. I know on my number 9, like I said, I have 96 stitches as my base to start with. The pattern is a multiple of 11 plus 7. How many times do I want to repeat this pattern for the back? We're starting in the very back, and we're going to go up the back and then over each shoulder. I would like to repeat this pattern 2 times. I just think it looks nice, and then it just looks real pretty. And you saw my sample. In the very center back, I have 2 repeats. So I come here and I go 2 times 11 equals 22, right? Plus 7. That means at the end of 22, I add the plus 7, and the whole total is 29 stitches. And right away, I go ahead and put that in a block, so I know right away that's my pattern. That just helps me. This is the way I do it. You will find your own comfortable way of figuring it out. I go over the same steps to help you kind of get your mindset, and then once you you're free to do whatever you need to do to get it. Okay, I hate to turn the paper here, but I'm trying to write. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is simply start subtracting. You see, if we didn't have this number here, if you hadn't figured out your number, you wouldn't know where to start. So I have a number of 96 for me. So I'm just going to go here. I hope this is not too crooked. I'm going to take off this bracelet too. This is my way. Okay. All right. So over here I have 96 stitches. That's my base. I'm simply going to start subtracting from that number. Okay. First thing I want to tell myself or ask myself, I need a salvage stitch on each side. We're not putting a border on this. We're going to actually do a nice seam just like we did on the Winter Bliss cardigan. You see how we just go from one to the other. All right, so a border, you can call it salvage. You can put an S, you can put E for edge. I just always use B, but you can use whatever you want. A border, and of course if you have a right side and you're going to have a left side, so 1 and 1, I'm going to use 1 stitch on each side. 1 and 1, that's 2, so I'm going to take away 2 stitches from my 96. That will leave me 94 stitches, right? Now the next thing that I'm sure of, I was sure that I want 1 stitch on each side. Now I've already multiplied out my pattern, so I'm sure that I need to take this away from my 94. So I just come over here. This is my pattern. I'll put a P minus 29 stitches, and you can put a box here. All right, if I take 29 stitches from 94, I am going to get 65 stitches left over. Does that make sense so far? Okay, now the 65 stitches are the stitches we need to fill in on each side of the pattern. You got a border, then you got all this space where you got to know how many stitches you got to fill in on each side. Well, 65 is an odd number, so it wouldn't be equal. I mean, I could put so many on this side, and then I'd be short on one side. So there's no mystery. I'm simply going to add 1 to even this number out. And when I add 1 to 65, I get 66 stitches. Now it's even. Now I have an even number that I can divide by 2. That is going to equal 33 stitches on each side of my pattern. Does that make sense? Now this is the way you're going to check it. Okay? All right. Let's go down and let's write our formula from what we know. We know that we have a border of 1 on one side, right? We know that we have 33 stitches that we're going to use as filler stitches right here, right? I know that this is the center of my back and my pattern, and I know that 29 of those stitches go there that I will work the cable and lace in, right? Now you got to do is just, this side just has to match. So if I have 33 over here, we even it out. If I hadn't added that 1, I might have had 32 over here. You see? It wouldn't have been quite even. Okay, it might not have made a difference, but you just want to learn how to make it even on each side. And then, of course, I had that border of 1 over here. Now, all right. I didn't even turn on my calculator, did I? Okay. Well, I got it in my head, but I'll do it on the next one. So now to check your math, this is all you have to do. Let's just add up what we have. I have a 1 plus 33 plus 29 plus 33 plus 1 equals 97 stitches. I have 97 stitches. I started with 96, but in order to get this cable on centered in my back for my stitch count, I had to add 1 extra stitch, and everything is even. And this works out even better because our 1 by 1 ribbing, I need an odd number. So bingo, my odd number is there. I have 97. So all I have to do is cast on 97 stitches. And then I will start you go into your 1 by 1 ribbing. I'll show you that in just a minute. But there's mine. That's Jay's. I'll put Jay's. And she's smiling. Now, I'm going to do 1 and pretend like I'm a small size. I wish. Okay. All right. Oops, that's a dirty sheet. Let's get a clean sheet, Jay. Well, I should have been ready. Okay. Now there's I've done mine, and I'll come back to it. I'm going to lay mine over to the side. Okay, so now I'm in this little teeny thing, but I'm still using a US 9. US number 9. Okay. And I'm going to say that my size is 80 stitches is going to be where I've counted. I've done my little measurement. You can do your swatch, or you can actually sit down and count. And I had to round my number off. Maybe it was 79. Well, I rounded off to 80. Okay, or maybe it was 81. I round back down to 80. And of course the pattern is the same. For every size, it's a multiple of 11 plus 7. All right. We're going to do the same thing. I'm going to walk you through it. I still think we ought to put 2. You could put 1. If you're real small, you could just do 1. But for this practice, And for my sample, I've already done 2, so I'll have enough to work on. So I'm going to do 2 times 11. See, it's still the same. 22 plus 7 equals 29 stitches for my pattern. Now put it in a block. See? Now, I bring my 80 over here, and I start just simply subtracting from my 80. Okay, I know I want a border on the left and right, so remember, that's 1 on this side and 1 on that, so that's a minus 2. I forgot to use my calculator, so I'll use this time. 80 minus 2 equals 78 stitches, okay? Then I know that this is the pattern, so why don't we just go ahead and take that away? The pattern. So 78 minus 29 equals 49 stitches left over to put on each side of the pattern. Well, look, whoops, 49 is not even, so we need to even this out. So I'll simply add 1 to make it 50. Oh yeah, 50. It's easy to divide. 50 divided by 2 equals 25 stitches that I can even my pattern out. So let's let this nice little thin person write her formula out. Okay, she's going to have B, a border on this side, 1, dot, 25, some filler stitches, the pattern, 29. Now I just make that match on this side. 25 dash B1 equals 80. Well, let's do it on the calculator. Yeah, do it on the calculator. Okay, 1 plus 25 plus 29 plus 25 plus 1 equals 81 stitches. And that works great because now I don't have to add any more stitches to do my 1x1 ribbing, because I need an odd number. Because if you're gonna start with a knit 1, you're gonna end with a knit 1. We need an odd number. I start with a purl 1, remember? But let me get to that. All right. So there, does that make sense? See, once you get comfortable with it and kind of think about it, this is why you have some base or somewhere to start. Now, I suggest for a, I can't guarantee sizes, but, I'm trying to, understand that people sometimes just need a little more help. Here we go. I'm so excited. All right. First of all, of course, I had to go ahead and get some started because I didn't want to have to start at the very bottom. But as you can see, I did. Now, this is just my sample, and I'm doing it in the small size, so I cast on 81 stitches. And as you know, I start my ribbing, and on that, after I cast on, I call that a wrong side row. So I do 1 by my formula. I knit 1 stitch, and then I go right into 1x1 ribbing. I purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, all the way across. And since I started with the purl, then I need to end with a knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, and then that last border stitch or edge stitch or whatever you want to call your stitch. It's going to be so that we can sew it up. Does that make sense? Now, you're going to do your ribbing as much as you want. If you know the back length that you like to use, say I like to use, say 20, then in that back length, it's up to you to just fill in how much. I don't even know if I have that little old, yeah, I do. It's just how much you want to use out of that length. I'm going to use 1.5 inches. Then that will tell me how much more I have to, that I can use up before it starts getting to look sloppy or too big. But anyway, you just do however many rows of 1x1 ribbing you like. I'm doing 1.5 inches. How about that? All right. Next thing, I always do this is not fancy, really hard, but I like to separate before I go into my actual decorative pattern. So after I finish my ribbing, you'll be stop on a right side row. I'm over here and I'm on a right side row. So I'm just going to knit all the way across. Just knit all my stitches to give to set in everything nice and neat. And so my ribbon looks nice. And then of course I have to purl back, right? Now I'm ready to set in my markers and start my pattern. So on this small size, I knit a stitch for my edge. Then I had 25 stitches. See how it centers it? This is the 25 stitches here. Then here I'll put a marker, and then here is my 29, you know, in the box. This is my pattern. This is 2 repeats of this pattern. And then my 25 stitches and my edge. That's what I'm knitting by. That's my formula. That's your pattern. Until we get to the pattern for the cable. Then we leave our pattern, we do the cable, then we go back to what we're doing. Following our little formula. Does that make sense? Okay. We're going to get ready to knit now. I'm ready to go. The name of this knit stitch is from the book. It is called Lace and Cables. The name of this knit stitch is called Lace and Cables, and it is a multiple of 11 stitches plus 7. All right, I'm going to read through each row as we knit, and I should have been already up to this part, but we'll just do it anyway. We're having fun. All right, so I'm just going to quickly knit over 2 because this is all on the front edge, front side, excuse me. Man, what's wrong with me today? I don't know, I ate something and it kind of messed with my head today. But it's still raining. It was raining last night when I was, in the last segment I said, oh, it's a rainy night in Georgia. Well, I was doing that late at night. And since it's raining again today, I thought this would be a perfect day to try to go ahead and, the house is quiet. Nobody's cutting grass or you can't even hear the birds or anything. Everybody's quiet and settled down. I thought I am going to try to get this tutorial, try to work on it. Okay. See, this side is pretty fast. Okay, I'm coming up to where I want to put my cable. I'm going to change this marker so you can see it. I have a red one on the other side. So I have a nice marker here to remind me. Okay, Jay, I'm coming up to my cable. All right. 29 stitches. This is row 1, and as you can see, we're on the right side. Okay. Row 1 reads, knit 1, yarn over, slip 1, knit 1, pass slip stitch over, knit 1, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 6, and repeat. And you will end with a yarn over, slip 1, knit 1, pass slip stitch over, knit 1, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 1. Okay. All right, so call it out again. Knit 1, yarn over, slip 1, knit 1, pass the slip stitch over, knit 1, knit 2 together. I need a yarn over, and then knit 6 stitches. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, oops, 6, okay? And of course, I'm going to repeat because I did 2 repeats, remember? That's how I set mine up. So let's go back up to the repeat, and then the repeat is yarn over, slip 1, knit 1, pass the slip stitch over, okay? Knit 1, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 6. And of course you can tell where the cable falls. Falls in that knit 6. And I was talking, so 2, 4, one more, 6, make sure I'm not off my mark. 2, 4, 6, okay. And now I can tell we're at the end because there's not many stitches left and I can see the next marker. So I go to my end and it's simply yarn over, slip 1, knit 1, pass the slip stitch over, okay, knit 1, knit 2 together, yarn over, now knit 1. That ends the pattern. So now I go back to my formula, which is simply to knit these filler stitches and knit to the end. Okay, take a look. All right, rows 2 in every wrong side row, we're simply going to purl. That's one reason I like this pattern, to, you know, for us to share this first time on cables. So you just purl, except of course your 2 edge stitches. You knit those or slip them, whichever you prefer, or however you do your edges. So I will see you back at row 3. Okay, so I'm coming up. We're going to start row 3. I'm just finishing up my stitches here. Let's see, can I bring this on the outside there? All right, we're ready for row 3 of our lace and cable pattern. Row 3 reads, knit 2, yarn over, slip 1, knit 2 together, pass slip stitch over, yarn over, knit 8, and repeat. And then you will end with a yarn over, slip 1, knit 2 together, pass the slip stitch over, yarn over, knit 2. So here we go. So I slide my marker. Now I'm ready for my pattern. It starts with a knit 2, okay, yarn over, slip 1, slip 1 stitch. Now knit 2 stitches together this time. Knit 2 together, reach back, pass the slip stitch over, yarn over, knit the next 8 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And of course, I have to pattern repeat, so I have to repeat. And the repeat is yarn over, slip 1, knit 2 stitches together, pass the slip stitch over, yarn over, knit 8. Here we go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And I can see I'm near the end, so my ending is yarn over, slip 1, knit 2 together, pass the slip stitch over, yarn over, and knit 2. That's 1 and 2. Slide my marker, go back to my formula, which is just knit to finish across this right side row. Okay, that is row 3. Of course, row 4, you will purl all stitches except your edge stitches. I will see you back at row 5. Okay, I'm working up, and now I'm ready to start row 5 of our lace and cable pattern. So far, so good, so pretty. You know, of course, I know I had more work than you do, and maybe you don't see the pattern hasn't popped yet because we haven't done the cable, but it will. So We're on row 5, right side. Row 5 reads, knit 1, yarn over, slip 1, knit 1, pass the slip stitch over, knit 1, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 6, and repeat. And you will end with a yarn over, slip 1, knit 1, pass the slip stitch over, knit 1, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 1. So, yes, that does. That sounds like we've done that. Well, it's the same as row 1. So, let's go on row 5, though. You have to keep in mind, don't get confused. We're still on row 5. So, knit 1, yarn over, slip 1. We're back to knit just 1, pass the slip stitch over. Okay? Knit 1, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. Get a little yarn here. All right, now I have another repeat to do. So the repeat is yarn over, slip 1, knit 1, pass the slip stitch over, knit 1, knit 2 together, yarn over, and knit 6. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, and row 5 will end with a yarn over, slip 1, knit 1, pass the slip stitch over, knit 1, knit 2 together, yarn over, and knit the last stitch. And slide your marker and knit to the end of this row. And we have completed row 5. And this is a good little time to kind of look at your work. So if you get lost, or it happens, you put it down, the phone rings, you go to the grocery store, you put something in the oven, you come back and you think, oh man, my little marker slipped or whatever. I always use this row as a good row to help remind me where I am if I am lost. You remember row 1, we knit 6 for the cable. Row 3, we did a knit 8 for the cable, which is the widest part of the cable. So you can see I've already done, I can see the widest part of the cable, so I know that I have to be after row 3. So that means I need to go back down to 6, and that will be row 5. Does that make sense? Is that confusing? It's just a way to kind of know where you are. If you find a place in your pattern to always kind of like, okay, I know I've done row 3 because I have knit 8. I have a knit 6 before, a knit 8, and then another knit 6 on row 5. So I know I've just finished row 5. I am good to go. Does that make sense? Or is that a little help? Okay. Now, of course, row 6 is the wrong side. We will purl the stitches, and I will see you back for the cable row, row 7. And we will get to do our cable. So, see you back. Well, we're finally up to our cable to put in our sweater. And that is row 7 on our pattern. And just to remind you, like I say, here's just a small sample, just like I showed before, of some cable needles. You know, you could, sometimes I just use just a small double pointed needle. So you could be creative. And like I said, when I'm just by myself knitting at home, something that we always had, you know, I'm old school, we always had baby pins. And that's just something that, you know, readily available. Well, I guess, I don't know, do people use baby pins? I don't know, I've had these a long time. Of course, they were never used with a baby. I got them a long time ago. Only because they had the color heads, and I thought that would be great if I was doing a real fancy cable where I needed to know, you know, needed more color at the top just to help me figure out the cables. So that's just something I use. So that's what I'll just use, but you use regular cable needles or whatever it is. So, all right, row 7 of our pattern reads, knit 2, yarn over, slip 1, knit 2 together, pass the slip stitch over, yarn over, knit 1, and then it says C6B. And if you look into your in your abbreviations, it means cable 6 back, and then you'll knit 1. Then you'll repeat, and the ending of this row is yarn over, slip 1, knit 2 together, pass the slip stitch over, yarn over, knit 2. So let's go. Okay, let me just finish up my part there. Now I'm up to the past slip my marker, and the pattern reads again, knit 2. So I'm going to knit 2 stitches. I'm going to do a yarn over, slip 1, knit 2 together, reach back and pass the slip stitch over. Whoops. Okay. Now yarn over, knit 1 stitch before we start our cable. Now, it says cable 6 back. So I'm going to split. Now, this one is an easy one, and this is one reason I chose it for, you know, all our new people who are really want, you know, who really want to get into this and just need to take it a little slower. If you're advanced, you're just going to whip on through this. This is no big deal. But when it says, for instance, cable 6 back, we're going to divide that in half. That is not always the case. Every cable has its own instruction. This just happens to be 6 cable back. So I'm going to take my pin and pick up 3 stitches from my left hand needle, just like that. I've got them on my pin. Oops, the phone rings. Oh, I have to run somewhere. Oh, well, I can just click my little needle close, my little pin close, and it hangs on the back behind the stitches. You see that? Now I'm going to knit the next 3 stitches right off. Just knit them 1, 2, and 3. Just knit them off the left hand needle. Now I reach behind and pick up these 3 stitches that I put on my pin or your cable needle or whatever it is you're going to use. Some people don't even use a needle. They can do it by hand. I'm not that good to do it by hand. I have to have something. So I'm going to put her back on her. Some people use a cable needle and knit it right off the cable needle, but I put them back on my needle. That way I know I've got them in the right order. And now I knit 1, 2, and 3. And this is the next stitch is the one you have to remember to do, because sometimes I'd get busy watching TV and forget it. There's a knit 1 before the cable, and there's a knit 1 after. So I've done the cable now, so I'm going to knit 1 stitch. All right, now it says repeat. So the repeat is yarn over, slip 1. Just slip the stitch, knit 2 stitches together, reach back and pass the slip stitch over. Now yarn over, knit that 1 stitch before the cable, Now, let me just share this with you. This pattern does not call for this, but you can do anything you want. It's your pattern. And once you get comfortable, you know, just doing your own thing, you'll think of things like this. When I was designing this, I said, okay, now this is cable back. And so that means it twists a certain direction. This is twisting to the right. Okay? Well, I can easily just do a cable back on this side and they'll twist in the same direction. But since I only have 2 cables, I thought, well, why don't I twist this one so that it's twisting different, so they kind of mirror image each other. And so, well, how would I do that? I would simply do cable 6 front, cable 6 back. You can easily do the same thing here, but I'm going to do a cable 6 front. So here I go. So now I take my pin or cable needle or whatever you use, and I'm going to pick up those 3 stitches as before. Hold them in front. Just let them drop in front. Now I'll go back and I'm going to knit the next 3 stitches right here off my needle. 1, 2, and 3. Now I reach and I take the stitches off my pin, put them back on, and now I can just knit those 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and remember, immediately knit that next stitch so you won't forget it. Otherwise, you're going to have your stitch count is going to be off and you're going to go, oh man, where did I make the mistake? Right here. This is where I kept making it, so I'm telling you. So I knit that after I finish the cable, then I knit 1. All right, now we're at the end. And we're going to end with a yarn over, slip 1, knit 2 together, pass slip stitch over, yarn over, knit 2. So yarn over, slip 1, knit 2 together, pass the slip stitch over, yarn over, yay, I ended right, and knit the last 2. Oh gosh, it's so good to end like you should. Okay, and then of course I'm going to knit off. I'm going to finish the row knitting across. And like I say, if you look, there's my cables, and I have kind of mirror images. This one is swirling or bending this direction. This one is going here. So they're kind of like. So now, of course, you have to finish this row, and then you have to do row 8. The repeat of this pattern, you repeat rows 1 through 8 for the complete pattern. And so I will meet you back after I complete row 8 to tell you our next directions. So, happy cabling! And look, I don't even know if they make baby pins anymore. These might be something worth a lot of money. What do you think? Okay, see you back in a minute. Okay. All right, I wanted to share with you this next step, okay? So that as we're working up the back. All right, we're going to have to pretend here a little bit because this is just a sample. Now I just can't redo this whole sweater. Okay, so now you're going to decide on the length you need from the bottom to the top of your shoulders. Remember, that's the length we're heading towards. For me, I'm short, and I repeated. I just counted these little these little bumps right here of my cable, and I repeated for my original sweater 11 repeats. I just counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on up till I got to 11. And I held it up to me, and it's not quite up to the shoulders. You stop before you get to the neck, a little before you get to your neck and shoulders. So you're not trying to take these all the way up. So I probably stopped about 2 inches or so. but you can just count your repeats. That's the easiest way to do it. Just do so many, stop and hold it up till you do some more, hold it up. Like I said, I did 1, 2, and I did 11. When I finished row number 8, we're pretending now that I have 11 rows here. There were 11 repeats. This is what we're pretending. And now I'm at the top, right? Okay. And I just finished row number 8, which was a purl row. So now I'm looking to start row number 1 again, so that I can get up to my neck and my shoulders. And this is what I want you to do. I want you to repeat rows 1, 2, 3, and 4. One more time. Repeat rows 1, 2, 3, and 4 from this point. After I did 11, I repeat it. So that means I don't go down to row 7. I just stop at row 4, which is a wrong side row, finish that row, and we will be on the right side ready to, that what should be the top of your shoulders. And I will be ready to separate the right shoulder, bind off the neck, and then work the left shoulder. And we're going to set in cables for each front. So from this point, however many of these repeats you want to do to fit your body, or you need to do, I needed 11, which didn't take me all the way to the top. There was room. Then I repeated rows 1, 2, 3, and 4 one more time. And that was the top of my shoulder. So we have work to do so that we can get to the top of the shoulder. Oh, enjoy. It's going to be so pretty. So let's continue. See you back. I'm knitting too, just like you. Real time. Let's see what's on TV tonight. Let's see. Thursday night. This is Thursday. Oh, How to Get Away with Murder. Oh my gosh, I love that. Is this Thursday? Yes, I got something to watch. Okay, see you back. Okay. Now, a little recap. Okay, we have finished all the repeats that you need to as you're working towards your shoulders. But before you get to your shoulders, your neck and shoulders, probably around maybe 2 inches or so shy, like I said, I just counted these little ridges here as my repeats, and I needed 11. And after I reached that amount, then I worked rows 1 through 4. So I just finished row 4, which was a purl row. Okay, now I'm on the right side. And I want to kind of finish off this back and bind off my neck so that I can start the right front and the left front. Okay, now what I like to do is just go ahead and, in fact, since all these stitches, I like to clean up my stitches. You've got nice smooth stitches here, and then you have pattern stitches here with yarn overs and things, and sometimes you can lose one or they fall off. So what I like to do, just like before I start my pattern, if I can, if it looks nice, I knit a row and I purl a row. All right, now up here I want to end the pattern, and I want to end so that all my stitches will be nice and clean and even. So simply, after you've held it up to you and you know you're at your shoulders, at your back of your, your back, your neck, and your shoulders, we're going to knit one complete row, and we're going to purl back and leave your markers in. Knit across all the stitches to clean everything up, purl back and leave the markers. It's going to help us to separate from the front. I just want to throw that in right quick. So when I see you back, we will be ready to bind off the neck. Our stitches will be nice and even and clean. You won't be losing any of your yarn overs or anything. So just simply knit one row, purl back a row. We'll be ready to separate our right side from our left. And of course, this is the neck area, and we're going to bind it off. All right, I just had to throw that in there right quick. All right, see you back. Okay, we know we want to put one repeat on each side, right and left. And I've counted my stitches, and I only have, counting this little the border edge stitch, excuse me, I only have 26 stitches, and that's not enough to have, have enough room to put 18 stitches of it pattern. And besides, I need a front edge border. I like to, if I can go ahead and put a border on the front when I go over my shoulders, I like to do that. So what I'm going to do, we're going to go ahead and start the pattern, and then I'm going to borrow 4 stitches off my neck, which I will make a garter stitch border just like I normally do. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to go ahead and mark those so when I start I won't forget. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, there's that left side. There's 4 stitches there. There's 4 stitches here. These will become my right front edge border as I go over. The pattern I will fit into this side. Now listen to this. Okay, in order to fit this pattern in and so that we can increase, I always like to leave 2 stitches before a border. See, here's that border. 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches. So I'm going to back up 2 more stitches on this side, and it'll be, of course, it'll be equal on that side, that I will save. So now I'm going to count back and see where my 18 stitches. Leave those 2 because we need to increase in one of those. So I'm going to go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 stitches, and I'll put a marker when I get there when I start knitting. So let me just, I don't count these 2 here. I need these so I can have something to increase into. Then I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 stitches. And for her size, that leaves 2, 4, and counting this little edge stitch, 6 stitches over here. Okay, does that make sense? All right, now let's see how it looks. All right, we will be working row 1 of the pattern on this right side. So let me knit over to where the pattern starts. You see the back, once you finish your back, like I say again, the back is finished. That's done. You start or make up or use your stitches different as long as you can get everything equal for each front. Let me make sure I have 2, 4. Uh-oh, I think I went too far. Yes, I did. Okay, double check where your mark is. You don't want to, okay, 2, 4, 6. Okay, now I'm going to take this little temporary marker out and I'm going to put in a marker there. This tells me I am ready to start my pattern. Does that make sense? Okay, now the row 1 reads, knit 1, yarn over, slip 1, knit 1, pass the slip stitch over, knit 1, knit 2 together, yarn over, and knit 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, that's 4, 5, and 6. Okay. Now, since we're only doing 1 repeat, we just skip right to the end. And the end is yarn over, slip 1, knit 1, reach back and pass the slip stitch over, knit 1, knit 2 together, yarn over, and knit 1. Okay, that ends the pattern. So now I can put a marker just to help me remember my pattern goes there. These 2 stitches I will just knit in the appropriate side. They will be the 2 stitches that they're like 2 filler stitches right before this edge coming up that I will use to do the increase in, because we have to increase. Remember, once you bind off the stitches for the neck, that will leave the front short of stitches, so you add those stitches back by doing increases. All right, I am up and I have 4 stitches now. If you need another marker to remember, it's okay. We just marked up here. Look, if you need another marker to remember, these are just filler stitches, those 2 for me. On my original, I had enough stitches that I didn't have to go into the neck area, but I have to go. In fact, I'm going to leave this off because I have to put that in there. All right, so now these next 4 stitches right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, will become the right front border, right front edge. Okay, so I simply knit these 4 stitches on every row to create a garter border. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, does that make sense so far? Okay, now, and I went ahead and kind of marked on this other side so I won't forget. Now I can start binding off this small neck. This is a small person, so she doesn't have to have a lot of neck. And it's over 23 stitches, 21 or 23 stitches, so that's still quite a lot of stitches. You'll see. For us to pick up, we're going to add a collar to this. But we're going to go ahead, and the first thing I do is knit the first stitch of the neck, knit the second stitch, reach back, loosely bind off that stitch. Okay, knit the next stitch. Because I've already cleaned up my stitches, they should be nice and smooth and easy to work. Knit and bind off. Keep it loose. Knit and bind off. Nice and loose. Knit, bind off. Bind off. Knit, bind off. You see what I'm doing here? Let me move on across. Knit. Whoops. Oh, I kind of lost my yarn there. Okay. Knit and reach back and bind off. I'm coming up. Knit, bind off. Knit, bind off. Knit. Loosely bind off. Try your best to keep it loose. And then check it every once in a while. See how it's looking. Okay. Bind off. Loosely bind off. Check. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm right there. Okay, let's go. And bind off. Okay, 2 more stitches. And bind off. Okay, now. Alright, there are my 4 stitches for my left front edge border. You see that? But if you look, there's 1 more stitch on my needle that I have not bound off in my neck. So I have to go ahead and go right on over and use the next stitch and now bind it off. And now I have 4 stitches, counting this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I will knit those 4 stitches on every row to make my front edge. Okay, let me just go ahead and move this marker in. Then I have 2 stitches, remember those 2 stitches that I need that mimic the stitches over here that mirror these stitches, and you can put another marker. Then we will start to work row 1 again. But just some FYI information for right now. Okay, I hope that's not too jumbled up for you to see. You can see now we've bound out the neck. We've created a border for each front edge by taking some of the stitches from the neck, because this was a small size and she did not have a lot of stitches in this one. She only had like 26, and I needed most of those for the pattern. Remember, it's 18. On my original, I had quite a few, and I'm just gonna let's see if I can do it. Let me just tell you this, and then I'll show you what I did on mine, just so that everyone is clear. All right, FYI information. as we start to work the right front and the left front, because we've bound off our stitch on the neck, now we're going to work them separate. Okay. If you, when you were working the pattern in the back and you did the mirror image, you remember this cable called for a cable or C6 back, cable 6 back, then you need to continue that on the front side, on the right front. And if you did cable 6 front to give the mirror image, this is for more advanced knitters and you wanted something maybe a little different, then you need to do cable 6 front all the way down the left side. If you're new and you say, Jay, I'm just trying to hang in here. I'm just trying to figure, look, I just want to have a cable. I don't care which way they go. Okay, you just do yours just like the pattern is written when you see it on the screen. And you will just do it down the right and the left. You won't have any changes in yours. I just had to throw that in there so I wouldn't forget. Okay, let me see. Maybe I should go ahead. Let's see if I need what time I have on my camera here. All right, real quick, just so that I want to get this needle off just to show my beginners so they'll know. I'm going to put a mark here. Just to remind me, those are 2 extra stitches there. Remember? Okay, now the pattern on row 1, I'm on the left side, reads knit 1, yarn over, slip 1, knit 1, pass the slip stitch over. Okay, knit 1, knit 2 together, yarn over, now knit 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, oops, 6. Okay, since I don't have a repeat, I'll skip right to the end, and the end says to yarn over, slip 1, knit 1, pass the slip stitch over, knit 1, knit 2 together, okay, yarn over and knit 1. And that's the end, and you should, of the pattern, and you should have the same number of stitches on this end that you had on this one. I had 6, that's 2, 4, 6. All right, so let me just knit off and lay it down. Make sure that you see, and I just knit off. That ends row 1. Okay. And just to recap, here's my front, here's my pattern, here's 2 little extra stitches that I'm going to need to increase in that I have right here and on this side right there. Here's 4 stitches right here by the front edge that will go over, that represents, that I'll knit on every row. These are garter ridges. And then of course here's my pattern. Does that make sense? Okay, and like I say, I feel like I'm leaving out something that I wanted to share with you. And I told you about, okay, about the cable. Okay, I think I'm okay. All right, now, let me show you this real quick. Now once the neck is bound off, now we need to just work left and right side separate. I go ahead and take, for my new knitters, just to remind you, like I said, I have a lot of needles, and hopefully you have extra needles also. I'm just going to use some plain straight, or you can put them on stitch holders and come back and pick them up later. I go ahead and do this and try to encourage new knitters, because this way you're not confused. Well, which way was I going? What row was I doing? Where was I? So I'm just going to pick these up, transfer them. Not pick them up, just transfer them in the order. And be careful of yarn overs. Just transfer them off. Take your time. Don't lose anything, especially the yarn overs. Transfer the markers and everything. I'm just switching them to this needle, going in the direction I just finished knitting them in. See? I'm going this direction, picking up even the markers, Here we go. And then there's those last 4 stitches for the neck. Voila. Now, that's one concern I don't have to worry about. Then I grab a cap. Since I'm right-handed, I know I'm going to work on my left side. You'd be reverse if you're left-handed. Okay, I put my cap on. Now, when I come back and pick these, when I get ready to work this side, I automatically will know that I am to purl, that I was on row 2, because this is row 1, that I'm just going to purl back and start the repeat of the pattern. I'm not going to be confused. Okay, and now, of course, I'm going to turn the work because I just finished the left side, and instead of working on this cable needle, I'm going to go ahead and work off of another straight needle. And it's just a purl row, which I like so much on this cable and lace. It gives me a chance to kind of breathe and take my time and know what I'm doing. So quickly, I'm going to purl back. This is just to help the newbies. All you advanced or, intermediate knitters, you're just knitting on. You can just say, oh, okay, Jay, I got it now. Okay, I'm working on. I'm doing my cables or whatever. Okay, but I have one more. FYI, I knew it was one more. But I'm going to get over here to the end. And I'm just purling back. So this will be row 2, right? Does that make sense? I always love asking that, because if it doesn't make sense, then okay, like, back up. Okay, here we go. Oops, don't go too fast and lose. I don't want to go too fast and lose a stitch. Then I'd really have been a mess. Okay. Oh, I lost my train of thought. What was the next FYI? Something I had to tell you. Okay. Oh, yeah, I know. Okay. All right. Now, I purled everything except, remember, the first and last stitch. Or either you're slipping this little stitch on the, where you started. But now I have to remember to put the yarn in back for this 4-stitch border. 1, 2, 3, 4. To represent my front edge. So now I put the yarn in back and I knit those 4 stitches, and it gives that nice little garter edge. Now I can get rid of this long circular, and it's not flopping all around and causing me all kind of problems, because I'm only going to work one side, work on one side for a while, and then work on the next. All right, voila. Does that make sense so far? Now, the next thing I want to tell you, FYI, all right, I worked 3 repeats. I'm short, and I worked 3 repeats of the pattern, 3 rows 1 through 8, 3 times. 1 through 8, 1 through 8, 1 through 8, 3 repeats of the pattern, and then when I get ready for the 4th repeat, I'm going to start my increases. So a little tip from Jay, if you're taller, you may need 4 repeats. This is just to get over your shoulder and give you a little clearance at your neck. Remember, we're still at the back neck. You still have to get over your shoulder. And then we're going to start some increases. So you'll have to just kind of hold it up or lay it across your shoulder. You know how you just kind of put it up on your body to see how it feels. I'm going to do, I believe that's what I did. I'm going to do 3 repeats on this side. And I suggest, this is a little tip, when you get to 3 repeats, at the end of row 8, put a cap on it. Go back over here now and start this one and do the 3 repeats. Or 4 repeats, depending on, like I say, if you're a taller person or a larger person, you may have to go 4 repeats before we start our increases. But at least they will be ready at the same time, and you don't have to try to stop and go back up and remember, oh, now what did I do? So that's where we are. And that's where we're going. I always like you to see where we're going. And if that makes sense, then I'm going to work in real time working. So now we're ready to add some increases. And that's what we need to get to. So everything is equal. We got our edges. And now we're going to start the pattern. And we're going to increase. And every time I do row 1 and row 5, I'm going to do an increase. And the next thing he says, well, Jay, how do I know how many increases since we're not working from a pattern? Glad you asked. Okay. Increases, the simplest way to explain it, and just let it, just really simple. Try to keep things simple. That's my whole deal. Like I said, from the very first time I came on, my things are simple. I'm just sharing. I just like to knit, and I'd like to encourage other people to step outside the box. You can knit nice things and not be a professional. Okay. We started on this sample with 80 stitches. Not counting that one for the ribbing, 81. But the base of the stitch is 80 stitches. That's why I like numbers divisible by 4. It starts to make the math simpler as you go along. All right, well, if you divide 80 by 2, because there's 2 fronts, we can do another math equation where we're going to take away this and do all that. But this is the simplest way to explain, especially to someone new. Saves you a lot of time. You can understand this. I have 80 stitches. 80 divided by 2 for a right and left front would be 40 stitches in a perfect world. Okay, that means I borrowed stitches. But now, because I bound off this neck and did other things, but now I want to put them back to make the front. Okay, so count your stitches. These should be equal by now because you've been working this pattern. Whatever number of stitches you have, you're just going to increase till you get to 40. Voila. Now 40 is just the base number. Once we get to 40, you kind of put your sweater on because we're going to work back and forth each side. You can kind of put your sweater on and you can decide, well, it didn't close up like I thought it was, like it's still a little wider. Well, you just keep increasing as long as you do the same number for both sides. A lot of times, my number, my original is 96. 96 divided by 2 would be 48, I think. Yeah, 48, okay. Well, a lot of times I'll just go on up to 50. I don't know, I just think, well, 50 is great. Just to kind of make it easy to remember. Okay, I got 50 stitches over here, 50 over there. But you just decide by trying it on, because you're your best pattern maker. You know how you want it to fit on your body. So, I'm just going to so what I'm going to do for this one is just keep increasing until we get to 40 stitches. And we're not that far away from 40 stitches. Like I said, and I'm going to increase on row 1 and row 5. Every time I do row 1, I'm going to increase, go down to row 5, increase again. Then we'll take a count every so often. Staying in pattern. Next thing I want to do. Okay, as we increase, we're going to want to make this kind of curve in like this. We want to, because we want to form a nice collar around our neck. And so the increase I'm going to do on this, I've done just real simple increases before, because I'm trying to, like I say, start out slow, not throw everything, not throw the whole kitchen sink at you at one time. For new people, I just can't tell you how excited I get when you new and so excited about knitting. And so glad to, I'm just glad that I can just share this with you. It's just simple. All right, so on this side, well, on both sides, we're going to do make ones. We're going to do a make one, I believe this is the right, and we're going to do a make one left. This side to me is the hardest, and once we start, it gets real confusing sometimes on which side you're on. So I always say right side hard. It's going to be the stitch, and I'm going to show you. And then you'll say, oh, yeah, that's the hard one. So on my right side, because I want it to curve this direction. I want the increases to go here, not here. And on this side is simply make one left, just a real easy one. Okay, we'll see how it sounds. Let's do a little bit. Oops, I'm going to get my needle here because we can really move that. Let me check my camera, see if it's close up. Let's see what side I'm on this side. Look, I'm trying to learn how to do my camera. See if I'm on camera. I'm here. Let's see, can I move? I hope I don't make you sick. And I'm going to try to zoom in myself a little bit. How about that? Okay. I think that'll do. Okay, so here we go. I am on row 1. And of course, I'm going to stay in my pattern. And first of all, I have to knit my stitches over, just like we've been doing. Everything is. So I'm going to knit over to my first marker, which starts my pattern. Make sure I have some yarn. Okay, now there we go. Slip the marker. Now row 1 reads, we got to work through row 1. Knit 1. Yarn over. Slip 1. Knit 1. Pass the slip stitch over. Okay. Now knit 1. Knit 2 together. Yarn over. Now knit 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. Now we don't have another repeat, so we can just go to the end of the row, and the end is yarn over, slip 1, knit 1, pass the slip stitch over, knit 1, knit 2 together, okay, yarn over and knit 1. Now I'm up to, okay, now let me stop here because I've done this tape so many times and I think I might have left out something. Okay, on my increases, when I get ready to increase this sweater, okay, we had our formula set up. There was 2 stitches here. And you can see, I was watching the movie and I started working. Okay. But, we had 2 stitches. I need those stitches. 1 to keep this nice little knitted border along the edge there. And 1 stitch to increase into. So, let's go. Now I have to go to the end because I did some increases already. So I had to make sure my increases were going in the right direction and I was doing it right. Okay, so I'm up to my 2 stitches that you will start out with. The first stitch right here, I knit into that stitch. Then, you see the strand or the bar right there. I hope it's showing up on camera. All right, this one, you're going to come from the back. Normally, on the other side, we're going to go from the front. This one, like I say, I always say the right side, this side is, it's the hardest. And the hardest would be to take your needle and come from the back. You see that, the left-hand needle? Pick it up. Now I got a strange looking stitch, and I'm going to come in the front, loosen up that stitch to get this needle in. And then I'm going to knit this stitch just like that. I'm just going to knit it just like that and then knit this stitch. Now I'm going to let it off and do it again. Okay, I knit up to the first stitch. I knit that stitch. Now right here, here's that straight bar. I'm going to come from the back. It makes kind of a funny loop, kind of a funny little. All right, now I'm going to come in front and knit as I would normally knit. And then knit this last stitch before the marker. Slide the marker, knit the last 4. This is on the right side. And this is a make one. Oh, let's see. Did make one right? Yes. Okay. But now you see, as I have been working some, that it's leaning or pulling towards the left, which is what I want because I'm working down the front and I want the front to come, you know, to meet each other or kind of meet each other. Does that make sense? All right. So then, of course, you turn the work. Well, let's go over here. I tell you what. Let's move to my left. Let me see how the camera looks, if it's still set up right. Okay. Let's move to my left hand side. See, can we do it all while I'm doing it? I've got another ball of yarn here. Hope I can do it with this ball of yarn. Okay. Check my camera. Yeah. Oh, hey, Jay's getting better at the camera. Okay. So, for instance, on this side, this is make one left. I'm going to knit my 4 stitches. I'm on row 1. I have my 4 stitches to knit. See, I'm coming from the opposite direction. Now I need to make my increase at the beginning of the row. This is at the end of the row. This is at the beginning. So I still have 2 stitches. So I knit the first stitch right there. Then I have right here the same thing with this bar. You see that bar? This time I'm coming in front. I'm going to stick my needle in front of the bar. I just take my needle and go right in front of the bar, but this time I'm going to take the right hand needle and carefully stick it in the back of the needle, the stitch, and I'm going to knit it from the back, just like that. All right, let's try it again. Make sure you got it. On the left hand side, I knit those 4 stitches. My increase will start right here at the beginning of the row. I knit 1 stitch to keep this nice edge, and then I have this bar. I go into the front of the bar just like I would normally do, pick it up. Now, but I'm going to knit the stitch from the back. So turn it, slide the right hand needle through the back of the stitch, knit the stitch, and then continue to knit across. Oops. Knit across until you come to your pattern. Let me just get across here. So now I'm just knitting where I have already knit a few stitches. Alright, there's my marker and here's my pattern. And I will continue in the pattern as I did on the other side. Does that make sense? Let me lock this in. Hold on a minute. Does that make sense? Okay. I'm trying not to, I'm on keep it simple on this tape so that you can always look at it. All right, so what I will do now, we will work until we get to row 5. Row 5, we're gonna do it again. I'm gonna walk you through it again and see, you know, see how yours look and if you're remembering to do. This is the hard side. This is the easy side. That's how I remember it. Now, you might have to come up with some other way to remember. I always get confused when I say right and left, so I just say hard and easy. Hard, I know I'm going to go through the back. Easy, I'm just going to go through the front. Okay, see you back in a minute. Let's get to row 5 as we increase down the front. Now, I said all that to get down, and I just did a few rows so that I'd have something to share and to show you how to end this first, you know, this one of these fronts. So, let's see here. I think I'll just put the cap on this. This is going to be a sample. I'll undo it or something anyway. But anyway, I'm at the very bottom. So I have finished however many repeats I need to get to how many stitches I needed for my front. And this is my right front. Okay, and I have matched up however many cables I did in the back, I'll do in the front. I understand all that. Now I'm at the bottom. When I finish the pattern, and I finish row 8, which would have been the wrong side, remember? and I'm at the end. Then I go ahead, just like we did when we first started the pattern in the back. I'm going to knit one complete row, go to the back, keep everything like you should. I knit that first stitch, purl back across, and knit those 4 stitches for the border. The 4 stitches and this one edge stitch remains the same. So I have my edge stitch that will always be knit. I have the 4 border stitches that I will keep knitting on every row. It's these stitches right here in the middle, in the center, that you need to stop and count. Count the stitches and see what you have if you have an odd number. You're not counting this end stitch, that's your edge stitch. See, that's my little edge stitch. Let me make sure I'm on camera too. I am, but I'm way up there. Hold on, let me pull it down. Jay's trying to get better with the camera. Let's see, can I? Okay, so let me go over that again, make sure. Okay, you will finish row 8, knit a row, purl a row, but you will always keep these 4 stitches. You will knit every row and this one edge stitch right there. The stitches here in the middle are the stitches we will put back into our 1x1 ribbing. And we need an odd number, remember? So that I can start with a knit and end with a knit. Not counting the stitches I've already set aside. Count your stitches. See if you have an odd number. If you don't, we'll just make one or knit into the front and back. We'll add 1 stitch right here on this side if you don't have an odd number for some reason. Okay, so here we go. I'm ending. I've already got my number, so this first stitch I knit, and now I go into 1x1 ribbing. I knit 1, I purl 1, and I knit 1, and I purl 1, and I continue across the row until I get to my 4 stitch border. I will slide the marker and knit all 4 stitches right there. And I will continue my 1x1 ribbing for as many rows or inches that you did for the back of the sweater, or however many you want. That's just you. And then of course you will bind off in pattern. Does that make sense? Okay, if that makes sense, then I will let you go ahead and start working on how to end your sweater, how to do the extra rows, and then how to count and put your 1x1 ribbing right here in the center. I will see you back and we will be ready to pick up the collar around the neck. Okay, we're getting closer to the end, so I went ahead and I finished one side so that you can actually see the bottom edge. And as you can see, this is still, just my sample, but the whole front edge comes all the way down to the very bottom. Then, as you see, my 1x1 rib is in between the edge and that one edge stitch that I left on this edge. And that's what makes it so nice. So now I don't have to have the problem of, have to worry about picking up a front edge. Okay, it's already included in this sweater. What, just to make it easy. And like on my winter cardigan, I took my time. It was a long tutorial, but I took my time because I was laying a foundation. And I feel like if I go ahead and just take my time on this one, then I don't have, then you get it. And then then we can go faster and faster. You can, as you can see, or as you have probably determined, I just take one project and incorporate it into another project and use what we've learned and incorporate it higher, stronger, more intricate. And, and I'm a visual type person. And I just believe that if I take my time and give you a nice visual, then your mind becomes set, and then you can follow along as we progress in more more projects. And I will be doing a lot of sweaters, and the front will be done a lot like this, just depending on the pattern, what the pattern might call for, but you have the idea. So now I have the fronts done, at least showing you how to end that front. Now the next thing is the collar. Well, of course, this is not my size. This is just my little sample. But even at that, I was able to put this around my neck, and man, it looks so cute. Of course, it doesn't fit around the rest of me. It didn't fit around the rest of me, but it fit real nice. So I put it on just to see where I thought the collar might fall. And all I did, I'm going to turn it here. All I did, I took some markers and I just counted down. Not counted down. You see those garter ridges that we made for the border here? I counted down. I just put it on, tried it on, thought it looked good, and I counted down to 19 and stopped, put a marker. Well, then all I have to do is count down on the other side, 19. And this is a white marker. You probably can't see that one, but I put a marker. Now we're ready to pick up the collar, and we're going to work a 1x1 ribbing, just like the other part of the sweater, around this, this part, up, and then around the neck and down to the next marker. And all I'm going to do is just as I've been doing. I find a place to go in where my mark is. I'm just going to loop my yarn over just like I'm knitting. And I'm going to do, let's see if I can do the 1, 2, 3, skip a stitch. 1, 2, 3, skip a stitch. Let's see how that goes. That's 1 stitch. Here is 2. Oops. So can I get that? I'll come back and tighten that. And 3. Let's see. It's a little loose at first, but then after you get on up, it's 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to skip a place, or what I'd call a stitch. Now it may not be showing it real clear on the camera, but I'm going to skip a place right there. I'm going to skip that one, go to the next one, and count out 3. That's 1, 2, and 3. Now, this is not something that I made up. It's something they showed me at the yarn shop when I went one time, a few times, and I was working on stuff, and they said, well, apparently I had picked up too many stitches, and they showed me this way how to even it out. And then, like I say, I'm sure a lot of people do it now, but it was new to me, so I'm trying to learn, just like you. See, there's one I'm gonna skip right there that I stuck my needle. I'm gonna skip that one, and then I'm gonna go to the next little spot that I think is a stitch, and I'm gonna go 1, 2, and 3. And I'm just going to keep going. Okay, skip that that little stitch, go to the next one. Okay, that's 1, 2, and 3. Like I said, I'm not an expert, and I enjoy learning, but I'm just learning for myself, and just, because I, just enjoy it. I'm not trying to be, professional or nothing. I just want to just knit things that are pretty. Okay, I'm going to skip that one. And they kind of sit in sections of little groups of 3s, so you can tell if you need to go back. That's 1, that's 2, and that's 3. Okay, now I'm going to skip that one right there. Go to the next little spot there, little stitch. That's 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay, it's looking nice, and it doesn't look all bunched up like mine used to look. I guess they say, oh, I think you need some help. Okay, so let's see, that's one. So there's the one I'm going to skip. So I go to this one, 1, just knit on the stitch, 2, now I'm coming up to the neck, and 3. That's what I'm trying to get to while I can get it on this tape. Of course, we have to edit this, and hopefully I can cut it down. I hope it's not too long, but we'll see. All right, I'm going to 1, 2. Let's see, did I do 3? Go ahead and count 1, 2, 3. So skip that one. The next thing, and go into 1, 2, and 3. Okay, then I'm going to skip that and go over a little bit to that. So now I just want to come up to the neck, 1, so that we don't leave any gaps. I hope this is on the camera. Let me just kind of check. I think it's on the camera good. All right. Open up, or hold it open so that you can see. Let's see how many I have. 1, 2, 3. All right, then I'm going to skip 1. Okay, going to this one. That's 1, 2. Now I may have to get out of pattern now. When I get to the neck where I have bound off stitches, you know, we're going to go up under 2 strands and pick up each one. So that I will get out of pattern, and I will fill in so there's no holes. There's a little jump, you know, there's always a little jump where this stops maybe, and then where the bind off starts. So I'm going to go in here. I'm out of pattern now, out of that 1, 2, 3 pattern. Now I'm filling in. I'm going to put some extra stitches in there. Whatever it takes. Let's see, how many did I put? Let's see. Let me go back. Oh, I should have counted when I was going. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I put about 4 extra stitches in there so that I wouldn't have any gaps or holes, hopefully. Now I can go up under, starting at the cast off edge, go up under 2 strands, and just knit each stitch just like that. This part is easy. You're not having to worry or count or anything. You're just working up under, you know, those 2 strands at the top. Okay. All right. Now, so I can get around. All right. I'm going to continue around till I get to my next marker. At that marker, we have picked up all the stitches. Well, why don't I get around there, and then I'll come back and show you, because I want to make sure. So let me get around, and then I will come back. Okay, so the last little, you know, the last part that I want to share with you, I have been working on the collar. I am doing the 1 by 1 ribbing, following the same steps we followed before. And as you can see, I've done about, I don't know, just for the sample I've done, just so I'll have something to show, about a couple of inches. Anyway, but as you can see, it goes around the back, nice and neat. Here's the back of the neck, and of course your collar's gonna lay at the neck like that. Isn't that pretty? And then let me just slide this over a little bit. Let me check my camera, see if I'm on. Yep. And of course I didn't have much arm space because this was just a little sample. I didn't have much to kind of sew together. But anyway, I remember you go down to your size US 8. The whole sweater was done with the US 9. But I always go down a little smaller to change the gauge with my arm space. And of course, you put it on. You know, you're gonna sew it up, sew your side seam up, leave a nice space, try it on, not too tight, but you know. And of course, it would be good if you had an idea of your sleeve space stitch count. You know, mine ranged from 68 to 72. There's always 4 stitches, you know, that I can, a 4-stitch range. So that way I can do maybe 34 up on this to the top, and then 34 down. You know, I kind of gauge myself, and or you know, but however you want to pick up your stitches, This is just entirely, it's such a small area, and at this point you just want to get your stitches on there, pick them up, like I say, and then of course we're going to repeat the 1 by 1 rib pattern on when you're knitting flat, like the collar, 1 by 1. You want an odd number, but in the round you need an even number. So like I say, my number is like 68. So you'd start with you'd simply pick up all the stitches around, count them. Hopefully you can come up with a number that's good for you, and then just simply start knitting. Knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, 1, all the way around, and you should end with a purl 1 so that you can start again the next row. Knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, and continue. And now I'm going to switch, since this is just a sample, and I really want to get to the original. It is so pretty. This is just some plain store-bought yarn, I know, but it is really, it's a really pretty knit, and it is so nice and soft, and you saw by the pictures how pretty it looks. I just left my little pin on there. Now you can see how many inches I really went on the collar, and you need a lot of inches in order for it to roll back properly. And so I have at least, oh my gosh, I went, I didn't even know I went that much myself. I went almost 7 inches, at least 6.5. I guess if I stretch it out a little bit, it'll be closer to 7. Oh my gosh, I didn't have it work. But it makes all the difference because the collar is just absolutely gorgeous. And here, you know what, I forgot to take pictures of the back, but you've seen the back. I'm going to turn it over and see if I'm on camera, because I really want you to see this. Excuse me. Yep, look how pretty the back looks. See the neck? Because I left that little space and had all my stitches nice and smooth. So when I pick up, it makes the join where I'm picking up for the collar, and then the body of the sweater looks very nice. Then I have this luscious collar that comes back, rolls back, because I took the time to do a lot of rows. And if you just peter out and don't do a lot, enough rows to roll your collar back, you won't get the same pretty collar. But there it is. And let's see which is the closest that I can get the sleeve on. Let's see if I go. Oh gosh, this is getting down. Don't let me make you. I'm going to back it up a little bit. Okay, now let's go to this direction. I'm trying to learn how to do my camera. I'm like, I can't tell where I am. Okay, right there. Okay, I just want to make sure I get the sleeve on there. So now here is, you see I picked up my nice stitches. I went down to an 8. Look at the nice V, the nice join right there. There's no hole. I put a marker, and I did just like I did on the sample. I got an even number, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1. And this is about, let's see how long this is. Well, this can be to your desired length. It doesn't really matter, but this is 1.5 inches, kind of what I started the bottom ribbing with. So I did this around the sleeve for about 1.5 inches. And look how nice it looks. Isn't that great? Well, oh man, I hope you really give this one a try. Yes, like I say, it's a lot of work, but it's either you just be a collector of yarn and have a bunch of yarn, or you'll just start loving the process of actually making things for yourself to actually wear and enjoy, and you'll have these beautiful projects. Isn't that pretty? It is so soft. And this is just Savannah. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this. I've enjoyed it. It's, like I said, it's been a lot of work. But when I wear this one, I'm really going to enjoy it. And I hope you will too. And of course, I wish you happy knitting, happy Easter, and thank you so much. Thank you so much for telling your friends and subscribing and sharing. And until we meet again, this is Jay. This is Jay's Knit and Purl Jam. Listen, as we move into the spring, bye-bye winter, hello spring. See ya.